Hello there guys, today I'm going to be reviewing the CollectA Tube of Minis Set B. Now, this one includes the Giganotosaurus, Torosaurus, Dipleurodon, Amargasaurus, Velociraptor, Quetzalcoatlus, Brachiosaurus, Apatosaurus, Ankylosaurus, and Spinosaurus. So, I'm going to go through them individually. Start this in. So, first thing I noticed about the Giga is the fact that it's actually just the Carcharodontosaurus. And I'm a bit confused as to why they didn't just label it Carcharodontosaurus. Unlike the actual model, it's not really suffering from the CollectA chunky thighs syndrome. Minor shrink wrapping around the face. The arms are proportioned correctly, and I do like the colours, but admittedly the colours on the Carchar are really good. And of course it's on a base, but I think they could have possibly gotten away with not having it on a base. And then got Torosaurus. I think the only major difference between this one and its regular size counterpart is that the horns are curved forward. Obviously there's not that much in the way of patterns on the frill, and the leg position has actually been flipped. I do like how they managed to get the crisp detail of the eye spots on the frill. Then we've got the Dipleurodon, which has probably got some of the worst in the way of paint job, and that's mainly around the teeth. If it will focus. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there's a lot of paint bleeding on the face. But, it's pretty good. Obviously the colours are clearly inspired by Walking with Dinosaurs, and because it's got black on the head you can't really see the eye, but it is sculpted in, kind of. Kind of like this sort of neutral pose that it's in, but in the Amargasaurus, as of I think 2022, this is of course outdated because the sales are back. This sort of ridge thing, you probably shouldn't be able to see that. It should be embedded in back muscles. I do like how even at this scale they've even managed to work in the ridged scales on its sides, and but it might actually not be wide enough, and like even for the spines, some of these are actually too short. And got the Velociraptor, which of course is based on the old deluxe one. I'm a bit surprised they haven't actually painted the base, but I'm sure that's fine. Of course, being the old Velociraptor, it is lacking in proper wings, but at least the hands are pronated, and at least they did the deluxe Raptor as opposed to the popular sizes one. So it has got feathers. Paintwork I think is a little bit lazy when it comes to the eyes, and there is shrink wrapping there. Then got Quetzalcoatlus. This is my first Edge Darkid officially. Minor shrink wrapping. I think the wings are a bit small proportionately, but it's kind of difficult to tell given they're folded up, but I think they are a bit small. Membrane's connected to the knee, which I think is reasonable for Edge Darkids, and then I'm not really sure why the tail is sticking out like that. It's kind of weird. And then the upper beak is curved for some reason. I feel like it should be like that. And I am glad that they have made this model without the baby sauropod in the mouth. Yeah. And then Brachiosaurus. I don't really have very much to say about this one. I mean, like, aside from the lack of colours on the nasal, this is basically an exact replica of their popular sizes version. Feet are pretty good. Yeah. And then the Apatosaurus. I don't know what model this is based on. Same with the Ankylosaurus when we get to that. But I think this is actually pretty good. I like the jackass spines going down the back, even though we only have evidence for those in the sacrum of Diplodocus. The feet are a bit fat, I think. Like, there's... Well, at this scale, can't really expect too much. No nostrils. When you stretch the tail out, I think the tail might be a little bit short. I know Apatosaurus doesn't have the gigantic whip length tail that Diplodocus has. Yeah, and then also got a row of osteoderms or ridge scales on either side of the spine. Yeah. And then, yeah, the Ankylosaurus, I don't think this is based on either the deluxe or the popular sizes one, just because of the pose and the colours. The colours are really nice. It's like this sort of pale brown with dark red stripes. There does appear to be scale detail on the club, I think. And the armour is pretty uniform, although this single row should actually be 2 rows. There's a row on either side of the spine. Just going to bump the camera there. And it is adequately wide. And then finally we have the Spinosaurus, which is based on the on the deluxe Spinosaurus walking. Its hand is slightly warped, but it's not really resting on its palm, it's resting on the bottom of its hand. That's not too much of a problem. There's a bit of paint bleeding, probably because the snout is so narrow, and they haven't gone all out with the patterns just because of the scale. Yeah. So, since we ended with the Spinosaurus, I'm just going to start off my size comparisons with the Safari 2021 Spino. I think this actually makes quite a good juvenile for this figure. And we've got a couple more CollectA minis. We've got the Parasaurolophus, Kentrosaurus, and the T-Rex. The CollectA Juvenile T-Rex. Safari Baby Apatosaurus, which is about the same size as this one. And of course, the Papadimetrodon. So, I don't remember what I gave the last CollectA tube I reviewed, but given the selection, like, I have less problems with these ones. Geez, what am I going to give this? I think I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. Yeah. So, I do have a use for pretty much all of these in various upcoming projects. But yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.